So, welcome guys, and finally we've got a cladding update. And actually, finally we've got some resemblance of a path and thing. I mean, it's 5 years. It's disgusting that it's taken this long, and the amount of wastage with waking watch and all this sort of stuff, you know, and just had no clarity. But anyway, so they've seemed to have come out with, well, what's called the Building Services, Building Safety Act 2022. And it gives clarity. Now, I have a read through it. Don't bother doing it, it's not that interesting. But basically what they're saying is, hey, we've got this opportunity, we can see we've done some things, well, no, they'll never admit they've done things wrong, but in the past, you know, things have been done wrong and not to standard, so we're going to retrospectively go back and fix all those things, okay? So this is not just about cladding anymore, this Building Safety Act. This is about a whole broad range of things that potentially, are fire and effectively safety. Okay, so what the important bit for you guys as investors is there is a bit of a structure, a bit of a workflow. You can see it there, and what I'll do is I'll just take you through. So it all starts at 11 meters. Okay, now forget about 18 meters. Okay, 18 meters was the original thing, but then of course mortgage companies started going, no, we're not going to accept that. So 11 meters seems to be where it is, and there is broad-based support for this because the uncertainty has been killing the industry. Yeah, so 11 meters. So is your building 11 meters or more is the first question. If it is, if it isn't, then there's no systemic fire risk and there's no issue. Yeah, so in other words, nothing's going to be done about it. The problems of the past are the problems of the past and not even looked at. So from that perspective, there's nothing to be done. Yeah, so there may be some other stuff that they'll bring in that there is the possibility in the Building Safety Act, but for cladding, nothing. Okay, so cladding is 11 meters above. If it is 11 meters above, then is the developer able to pay to remedy it? Okay, so that's the next question. Then the question after that is, okay, if the developer's able to pay, then if it's within their means, then they must pay the full remediation. Okay, leaseholders to pay nothing. Okay, and that's written into the legislation. All right. So if they don't have the ability to pay, then does the building owner have a 2 million or at least 2 million net worth? Okay, so they're going to go personally at that, that entity that owns it. Okay, so if they do, obviously, if they do have 2 million or more, then the building owner will pay. But what's going to happen is the government will put the bill up front, and then they will basically pay it off over the next 10 years. Okay. Or pay it back, make contributions. So that's pretty much how it is. So it's a guarantee, a safety fund they're putting together. So, I mean, this is great because it means things can be done a lot quicker. It's still going to take ages because we still don't have the people. I mean, Brexit killed off most of the people that are going to build these things, that are fixing these things. So they're still going to take a while. It's going to be with us for the next 5-10 years. Who knows? We're now at 11 meters, not 18 meters, so that probably brings in another however many buildings, okay? Now, if the building owner can't pay, doesn't have at least 2 million bucks net worth, then what's going to happen is, effectively, the leaseholder pay based on the value of the property, all right? And what that means now is that there's an actual table here, and it depends whether you're in London, okay, or UK, all right? So basically, if you got over 2 million, UK-wide, cost of cladding non-capped at 100,000. So this is if the property value is over 2 million, okay, then 100,000 is what your contribution will be over 10 years, all right? So, 100,000 bucks over 10 years is what you would be capped at paying. You won't have to pay any more than that. If it's UK-wide, okay, 1 to 2 million, all right, then it's 50,000 over 10 years, all right? So at least now you can sort of go, well, actually my property's worth 1.2 million. Maximum I have to pay is $5,000 a year, okay? So it does limit that, which is good because let's face it, we've had some bills in that are £76,000 where they've said you need to pay up. Here's the bill. It's just ridiculous what's happened. But anyway, okay. So if we look at London, okay, if you're in London from 325 to a million, then it's 15 over the next 10 years. Okay, so that encapsulates probably most of what we would normally sell, properties. So you're looking at 15 grand over 10 years, 1,500 a year. So it's certainly not as bad as it was or could have been. Okay, but there is a kicker to this. All right, and I'll come to it in a sec. So non-London, 175, so this is outside London, 175 to $1 million, it's 10 grand over 10 years. London, less than 325, okay, if you can find something like that, then there's nothing to pay. Non-London, less than 175, nothing to pay, okay? However, all right, and this is the real kicker, do you own more than 3 dwellings, properties, okay, in England, okay? If you do, then the above may not apply and you have to pay whatever the cost, whatever the share of costs are, all right? So that's, if you own a portfolio, that can be sizable, because now what they're saying is you basically, if you own 3 more properties, or 3 properties, more than 3 properties, 4 properties or more, then as far as the government's concerned, you've got the means to pay for it yourself, whatever that share is. It's not limited, it's whatever the share is, okay? So that is potentially a big problem. Now, so far, it's a hard one, that one, okay? Because I think the couple of things that I've seen come out where people have to return and sign on the dotted line, and it's based on February 14th this year, okay? Whatever the value was or whoever the owner was at that point. So effectively what it means, if you've sold the property, there's other rules. I'm not going to go into it in this video, but look, the bottom line with this is, wait there, let me come back on the screen. Bottom line with this is that if you've got a portfolio, you need to actually, give us a call and we can chat through it and just work on. And anyway, I'll be contacting you guys if you're my clients over the next few weeks, just to discuss, and we might have a few webinars and things like that. But it all depends on 11 meters or more. So that, start with that. And then if you're under 11 meters, you don't have to worry. If you're over 11 meters, you start to maybe have to, but you will be contacted. And this is the problem, is we can't find that information out. We're flat out trying to get hold of property managers now, building managers and leaseholders and freeholders. So you've got to wait until they'll contact you. They'll contact you through their normal ground rent service charge means, and effectively tell you, right, this is the situation. You need to provide this document. And effectively the document you got to sign to say, how many properties you've got, what's, blah, blah, blah. There's a whole heap of questions there you have to answer. And if you don't answer them properly, it's fraud. So there's all those sort of threats coming out. So it's good in that we've got clarity. It's good in that actually it's put over 10 years. So whatever the figure is, it's over 10 years. And remember, this is per property, okay? So if you're going to get slogged with, say, 10 properties, you're going to have, and say it's 50 grand per property, 10 properties, that's $500,000 that you're getting out. And actually, it doesn't matter what happens now. If you sort of sell it, because people are aware of this, they're going to take that into account. So it's not a case of I'll just try and get rid of it now. So that sort of gives you a bit of an idea of where we're at with cladding. Good, there's a lot more clarity, but now it remains to be seen how freeholders deal with have they got the means to pay? Have they got 2 million in wealth? If not, then they'll pass it on to the leaseholders and share it equally amongst the leaseholders, and it will be capped. Of those leaseholders, do you own more than 3 properties? Because then you don't benefit from this, and then they can slog you for, you've seen the stupid fees that they charge, so that could potentially happen again. So it's not the best resolution, but it is a decent resolution for a lot of people who have been worried about it. So you just need to look at how it affects your individual thing. And obviously, if you've got more than 4 or more properties, then let's chat and let's have let's work out a bit of a strategy. Not that there is a strategy about this, but let's work out what the exposure is to this. Okay. All right, guys, as always, any questions you've got, send them in to me. You can just log on to gladfish.com or easytrack.uk and send in your questions, and I'm happy to record a video and answer anything for you. All right, guys, have a great day. See you later. Bye.